Hello, hello. How are you faring? 2025 is almost at its completion point, and I am back. Josi here. I share private online sessions for ancestral mediation as well as tarot guidance. And I am here to support kind of an interactive pick a card experience for you. For I do know that the majority of you who connect for guidance also have extensive connection to your own bodily intuition and potentially are open to welcoming in ancestral support messages during this experience. So, a little kind of breakdown of how this video will go is that I will first share a connection experience, like a way to welcome in your own intuitive guidance and messages, and may they come through and add to the messages shared today from my ancestral team of seers and support. And then potentially, yes, like we can go and choose a card. From there, you can pick a group and see what is being wished to be shared with you today. Okay, so let's see. Oh, and I love my dog is beside me, and of course it's shedding season, so don't mind if you see a whole bunch of dog hair all over me. Okay, so what I would suggest for this session is to find a piece of paper and a pen if you wish, so you can jot down some notes, especially if things start to kind of come through within your body during the process. And also to find a time to sit with you, with yourself, with your team, with your most beloved ancestors. Brew your favorite tea, find a comforting and comfortable place to sit, and know that this might be about 20 minutes or a half hour of your time. Okay, so what we will first do, you're welcome to also have some water. I'm just going to take a little sip. And letting yourself just arrive into the process. And as you breathe, just welcoming in any emotions that have come with you, any bodily sensations that have stepped in with you. They are all welcome. They are all welcome. And some may shift during the process. So you can even jot down a couple of things of what your body's feeling, potentially at this time, even if there are any questions that are arising prior to this process, just jot them down. Anything that is on your heart, in your heart, in your mind, that is surfacing as we sit here and breathe together. Just know that even at any time, you're welcome to pause the video for further connection and writing down, or if you need to take a pause and a break in this process. It doesn't have to be all in one sitting either. And once you feel that you have divulged and all those things that might be within on paper and shared those requests, there's something very interesting with that. Ancestors, whenever we step into connection with them, they are like, give us your requests, give us your demands. What do you need? Be very allow yourself to be emphatic in these queries. And then from there, you can place your pen and paper aside and just allow yourself, you're welcome to sit, lie down, and just to take a moment to connect to your heart, to your body, giving gratitude that you have arrived to this day, giving gratitude that whatever has occurred prior has at least brought you towards this moment in time, that you are here, that you are breathing, that you are living. And to trust. Can you trust that your ancestors are celebrating your existence today? that they are rooting for you, that they are wishing the best for you, that they're hoping that all the things that you care for and wish for and dream of, that you can see and celebrate them within this lifetime. There are such well wishes coming through. So let you bask in that contented state, to know that you are not alone. You are not alone in this quest, that many that you carry within your blood and your bones, your very structure, are always with you, are always supporting you. So much gratitude to be shared. Thanking your body for its sensations, for its rhythms, for all of its multiple functionings that support your existence here and now. May you welcome and may you open to the wisdom of your body, and to honor the sensations that may come within this session, to honor the hot or the cold shifts, the areas that might feel dense, condensed, or expanded. And to let this space and this practice be one of truth. Truth with yourself, truth with what your body is sharing with you. And as you sit back into this awareness that your body carries all of this wisdom, always, visualize that you are sitting by your family tree, even that is supporting your spine, supporting your back. Lean into the support that those most beloved, those most honored, those most respected of your lineages wish to share with you. May we welcome in those ancestors that wish to support these queries, that wish to support these requests today. Welcome them close to you, close enough that potentially some of their words may be received by your ears. That they may share visions, images, sensations, and feelings. And to allow this sit as if you're sitting down for tea with your most beloveds. To know that you can ask further questions of them. And may what I share forwards, what messages are shared forwards, may they serve and support and direct this connection and assist you. Thank you for gathering. Thank you for sitting with me today. 3 groups I will read for today. See how your body, your heart responds, and to which grouping you choose to listen to first. Maybe at another time you may wish to listen to another grouping for further message. The way that you navigate this session and this video is yours. There is no one way. All right. First group, I'm working with the Return of Spirit deck by Cheryl Harnish. for this first choice card. They are fractal cards with one word, so it's a really simple choice. Oh, and card one that comes. Love. Interestingly enough, there's also some keywords coming for this group of central intention. Central intention. Central intention. This is group one. Group one. Thank you. Going into group two. Group two's prompt card is the violet flame. With additional keywords coming through of dig deep. Dig deep. Ooh, feeling some of the energies. Wow. Group three. Okay. Group three. The card is frequency shift. With the additional words coming through of time is ripe. Time is ripe. Very interesting that there are some additional words already coming through to support you in this choosing process. So to review and to see what naturally maybe your body will respond to, you might have a visceral response to one of these cards to support your choice. Or you can ask the ancestors to give you a little squeeze, maybe a little comfort on the neck or the back of the heart. Ask for their a little affirmative touch to support this process. Group one, love, central intention. Group two, violet flame, with additional words, prompts of dig deep. Group three, frequency shift. Time is ripe. So letting yourself make your choice. Trust that no choice is wrong choice. And there's always options to continue and to listen to more messages. I'll pause for a second to set up for the first group. Okay, welcoming in group one. Group one, who chose with the prompt card of love and the additional words that came through with this card of central intention. Very curious to see what is arising. I'll be working with the traditional tarot deck in this group and today for all readings. For group one, to support them in receiving some information today for their request, for their queries. Okay. 3 initial cards have come forth. Okay. The first card that comes through. How I will do this is I will first share each card individually so that you're welcome to take a picture, write it down for further review later. There's always further messages with tarot. Tarot's a really meditative process. So to know that further message may come through even after we experience this connection together. So first card is the Empress. Second card is the Three of Cups reversed. And the third card that arises is the Sun. What arises at first with the names of these three cards? Let yourself jot any additional thoughts or experiences down. Allow yourself to run and to flow with what you write here, to trust that you already know some things. How can I share clarification to the direction these cards wish to take for this group? You've done some deep work this year in how your heart is supporting the functioning of things. Less fear has been felt. You've been addressing the fears or the uncertainties in the belly. You're allowing more of your feelings and sensations and experiencings of things to ring true. There are many things that you have sown. There are many things that you have wished to grow in this year. There was something of accessing your bounty this year. There is some desires of accessing a comforting and nourishing and supportive existence. Many tears have been of frustration, have wound around this process. But they are here to affirm that you have accessed this connection, this devotional connection to your loving support center. There is also that in that access that you hold the key to that access, that it's not that this is in creating further vulnerability in your life or further like a live wire in your life, that there is something that like you now know that you carry sacred access towards this heart center, and to can you trust that? They're almost like, can you trust that? Can you trust that there is something that is still distancing you from stepping into further connection with the people around you? There's even like a craving for that connection. There's a craving to like share this raw work that you have focused on this year, that you have spent inner work and time. And what is, you're almost like going naturally then, shouldn't my heart, like there's this feeling of like, shouldn't my heart just be fruitful and bring all that love towards me? Like there's like this desire for further adoration, further celebration, further appreciation of you. that might almost feel outside of yourself, almost like that you want to get accolades. You want to get, I see like people like hands patting your back and giving you kudos that for a job well done, of what you have fruitfully like done this year, what has actually risen up within you that you actually now can see the fruit of. Tapping into almost you've been working and tapping into the like access points of your creativity, of how do I create things in my life, how do I bring things forward from these loving intentions, from this like main intention to share and celebrate all the deep work that I've done in my heart to support that love to overflow, to support that love to move forward and to nourish the things around me, to nourish the relationships around me, to nourish the places where I put myself in. There's this deep hope of that. But there's something almost like delayed in the receiving of those connections that is leaving you kind of questioning all that deep work that has been done. There's like a wish for it to occur overnight almost. And this feeling of moving into this time that is past harvest, right? This time that feels a bit more barren of a landscape, that is bringing up a little uncertainty on how to proceed and bring these intentions or these things, these focal points that you have been working on this year into existence, when it's like almost like the season itself feels like it is working against you. And so there's this ask. There's this ask or the kind of like a request to weave small. I'm almost seeing like they're like someone with a very like fine needle and thread doing very intricate and detailed work. They're like, instead of like focusing on the greater picture at this time or the bigger tapestry, trust that what you are weaving is correct and will support that greater tapestry. But what you can allow the focus on is very subtle instances of that, very smaller instances of that. Nourish, like reach out to a person and say hello that is on your mind. Share some of what you are hoping to receive outwards. This is going to be a practice for you this, is it this month, this week? They're like an ongoing practice, almost like from this year. It is like to continue to hone and process how I wish to be received in this world is what I must create with each action, which I must embed into each action outwards. Mm-hmm. And to let yourself have a bit of celebration in that like that, even though it seems like a subtler and softer close to this depth of a year, that it is almost like being gentle so that you can almost feel the ripple effects of these little processes and connections with other people or groups, to support you throughout the seasons until the sun returns. Like there's this kind of feeling of like that the winter time might feel a little bit slowed down in kind of like the level of desire that you want for the amount of like connections and engaging moments with other people, and to know that the sun begins to return. And I am really getting with the sun card there, you know, this kind of feeling like, oh, I have to wait till the spring to do these things. But instead, like they're like, oh, and remember the sun begins to return in solstice. And then it slowly continues to return every single day. Their days get longer and longer from then. The light returns earlier than you think. The sun, the solar support returns earlier than you think. So I have to keep repeating this. They're like being very emphatic with this. And to allow that trust that there is immense support and blessing that will be kind of like, they're like, I keep getting this reminder with this card of like if you see how the sun, like all the sunflowers are reaching up towards the rays of the sun, of this when I connected years ago, asking my team kind of like how can I receive blessing? How can I receive further support at this time? And they were sharing me this image of these kind of sunflowers, and they're like, well, think of you as one plant, and then there's like the sea of many plants, right? This whole field. And so once you kind of like allow, like you can't crave and receive the solar support on your own. It is received by the entire field, and the entire field gets nourished. And then kind of like I'm even almost getting like how plants will assist each other, right? So it's like, just know that these little efforts, even if they feel like they're not giving you the fruitful response right away, that they are they're supporting that process, that kind of, it's like kind of allow your desire or wish for these blessings that to be like shone or to be shone on you, to go right. They can be shone on all the people around me. They can be shone on the entire community around me. And then that community and those people can also, we can support each other. We'll be uplifted almost like simultaneously together. So to move into, and again, I'm getting a lot of stuff here to look forward to, especially since we're moving into a Chinese astrological year of the horse. Kind of like going like, just know that this is the preparatory time for the momentum and the movement, and into this next year. And that I'm kind of like getting like, you know, like a kid figuring out how to ride the horse, and the horse figuring out how to ride with the child. And so like there is going to be this kind of like little tentative like horse clops and little awkward movement potentially to start, but then that rhythm kind of will speed up to become quite joyful and joyous. So is there a way that you can allow, that you can support this slower start, and know that you're just kind of learning your gait, learning your stride, the stride of how to bring all this depth of work that is creating so much things, feeling so fertile and ready to like just pop out. I want these things now. I've done all that. Like, I just feel there's like such a frustration around actually the Empress card of like all this depth of work that you have done personally in your development, in moving through some of the shadows around your creative capacity, around any uncertainties. Even my dog's affirming some of this chaos. So to just yes, to allow this kind of this allow the backwards to write itself without it feeling, there is no kind of like energy within the next couple months that feels, or sorry, within the next month that feels immensely like catastrophic for you. It's more so about this kind of like gentle turning of something. It feels almost like, I wish I had, like, I only have a glass, but like if you had like a jar with a lid and it was like put towards the side, but you know there's something really important in there, and so you're trying to like upright it, but every time you do that, there's something that gently kind of pushes it to its side again. So I can understand it's frustrating. And so they're like, but you could even just turn it upside down and it will stand upright, right? Like there's something about this gentle perspective shift that is still to come, that is going to support you forwards into this new time for you, of what you are willing, ready to build. But also there's something of also honoring what you have built, what you have built as a foundation within self, around self, to really assist this process. Playtime will come. Playtime will come. Delight will come. Savor those moments, savor those times, and allow those to be woven into the tapestry as well. But right now, a shored footing might not feel so shored. There might not be such a steadiness yet felt within. And so just honor a gentler pace. I know this is so neat, like it's difficult around this time of year to really practice this, but there is definitely some recommendations for a gentler pace through this, through what you may traverse through. Any additional messages today for group 1? Okay. Nudge to, they're like, that's why I brought it. The Pure Magic Oracle by Engracia. I am nudged to, okay, that just like literally flew out to pull one card. Okay. And look who comes to play, literally ancestors. And this is number 1 card in the deck. And the keywords share family, survival, death, worship. Let yourself breathe with your body, with your ancestors, with your family cloak. Allow them to cloak you, allow them to comfort you in this process. To trust that even what you release from what has, what may still be releasing from some of the uncertainties or the doubts from prior, of your sight, of your vision, of this intention, back to this, like this feeling, I understand this central intention to lead from a place of love, to expand and access more loving actions, affections, and care and celebrations within your life. This is gently allowing you to, they're almost like, I feel like they're taking your hand and going, we're moving beyond some of the patterns of the past. We're moving beyond some of the difficulty of feeling that you were just kind of moving through things just to get by. So to honor those last breaths, I keep on feeling like to honor those last breaths, to feel the last release of some of these things, the last like burial of some of these things within. Give a really loving burial to some of these aspects of you. Even seeing you could do this within the earth, within the dirt, with a potted plant, some soil work. and to tend to though what has grown to you. There's a lot of ask for some body care. Check in with what herbs are being asked to support you. Specific herbs. I'm even seeing some tinctures might be coming through for some of you. And if you haven't recently, they're like, connect with us, connect with us. We adore you and we have so much support to give you. So if you're feeling disconnected, journal, light a candle, do the things to support your preparation or your ancestral veneration practices, right? Set up a place with some of their favorite drinks or foods or some flowers, some type of gift for them. And even if you're uncertain of how to access that ancestral information, you can then ask for them to share it within your sleep, within your subconscious states, or even when you're kind of like least thinking of them. They're like keep like in the busy times, they're like you may receive some things when you're cooking, when you're cleaning, when you're just putting and doing the things to care for you. Let some space and time to be with them. If you need support, of course, clearly, my mediumship skills are here, and you're welcome to connect for a private ancestral connection where we can sit with them. But there is definitely an ask at this kind of like transitional time for you to light some, I keep on saying like light some candles, do some ceremony, do some ritual to acknowledge what has been buried potentially of some of the patternings and the shadows that you've experienced that you may feel are more familial or intergenerational. And then to kind of like open to going, okay, so now if I've done that work, now that I can kind of like share some new patterns or some new ways for my ancestors forwards, for my lineage forwards, then what is that? What are those things that I wish to cultivate? And you don't have to clarify them completely. They're sharing like they'll be clarified in the process of releasing those other things. That clarity will kind of like come with each gentle step this month. And then before you know it, there's almost like a before you know it, there will be kind of like a really like crystalline, I almost feel like sparkly kind of like delightful moments of awareness that you will get to experience this month. So you don't have to like feel like you're craving them or wishing for them or hoping for them. Just trust that they will come. And so what can assist you in the times that they may not be there? They are there. They're just percolating and getting ready to surface. Hope that makes sense. May you receive what you may from those messages. You're welcome to leave the rest, since this is a general reading. It has to be quite general in response. If you ever want a more specific reading, again, you're welcome to book online with me. Okay, deep gratitude towards all that showed up for this first group and this first message to be shared today. Thank you. I will pause just a moment and then welcome in group 2. All right, welcoming in group 2 with the choice of prompt card, a violet flame. And there was additional keywords that were shared of dig deep. May you welcome any additional responses, any additional messages in this time together that may come with these cards or support what is being shared in this more general reading today. Deep love and gratitude to your ancestors and their support, to all those that guard and care for you. There's a deep request to kind of just keep honoring that, to keep honoring and trusting that there is support. There is support. Like, can you trust that there is support for you? keep on having to be very emphatic about that. Oh, okay. There might be a fourth card for this group. I'm going to keep that there. But, alrighty. Okay. So, interesting. Very interesting. Now, first card, I will first kind of share the 3 cards that I drew for this group in their entirety, so you can write them down. You're always welcome then to work with them further, to look into further messages. Google everything, right? And tarot is a very meditative process. So, of course, contemplating some of the things that may arise with these cards may be beneficial for you, so you're welcome. The first card is the Empress reversed, which is quite neat. If interested in checking out what may occur post this process for you, you may be interested in checking out group 1. But during this process, the Empress shows up reversed, also with then the Knight of Pentacles showing up reversed. And then with an upright major arcana of Temperance coming. Whew. Oh boy, my sometimes you might hear my dog in the background. He can definitely sometimes feel the energies that I'm riding with. So honor if there is any emphasis. Now, what is arising? What messages can I share? Oh, okay. First, get a nice warm cloth. Get a cold cloth. Be it, are you hot? Are you cold in this process? There's something about, there's an ancestor that is just wringing out a cloth so that they can wipe your brow and place it over your head. There has been so much that has had to be moved through within these last seasons for you. Within this, what feels like it's like beyond a year. It just like seasons have run into each other to give kind of this state of, or this muddled confusion, this muddled or doubt or uncertainty, or like this ick of like, am I truly guiding myself? There's this almost like question of like, am I truly is this really my capacity? Like there's like a questioning of going like, do I have like this intuition? Is my body intuition correct? It is this like the movements and the vibrations in my body actually like giving me good information that can support me and can assist me, or is it not? There's this this almost like lack of current trust in the inner landscape, even amidst all, there's a reminder to kind of look like, even amidst all of the things that you have seen come to pass in these past seasons, all these things that have grown and shown themselves to you, what are the things? Can you list them? Can you take a moment and even in this kind of uncertainty, list the facts? There's something about like listing what literally grew, what literally kind of like you harvested this year of self. Like, what are the obvious things? What are the obvious things? Take a moment and assess. Take a moment and allow yourself to kind of just like factually, like the things that actually happened in real time, to jot them down. And once you kind of do that process, like then it's like going, okay, so these things did come. These gifts did arise. These things that were wished to be created were created. They burst forth into reality. They are literal. They've become literal in my life. Take account of those literal and practical and real things that occurred. And then something of kind of like almost like take like a moment of acknowledging then the practical magic of it all. This idea of like the practical gifts, like the actual magic and manifestations and creations that occurred that literally helped you in your life, the things that were from the day-to-day tasks to the things that maybe assisted those tasks becoming easier for you. There's just some of that processing work to initially be done. And I can understand why they really prompted this dig deep. Violet Flame naturally shares that there's some type of cleansing process or a clearing process occurring within, like deep within. That is, and of course, there's a reminder though that those depths with this Empress card, those depths are also very natural. Like those depths, once like that is like what you have been focusing on or working on in deep into you, have actually like created and manifested and brought things out into the actual like nature around you, your existing life around you. And there's an importance of actually looking at those things, be it the accolades, the moments of care that occurred, the moments of like clarity and certainty that have occurred this year for you, to almost boost yourself up in this process. For there's almost like been this desire that like, okay, or almost this feeling to me of like how that I must do this deep work. I must do this deep work so that then, because this is what is preventing me from receiving the be it the abundance, the financial rewards, the forward momentum that I was really craving or hoping for, that seems to be just a little slowed down. And this is quite neat because everyone currently in these groups is getting a reversal in the present. So there is a slowing down. And know that we're also, I'm doing this reading on the 1st of December, right before a full moon. Of course, we're in preparation for the winter solstice. This is quite that time that asks for us to kind of also slow down. But there's almost another like big message of going, but like, and this time is going to be slower. So just because you might not see swift rewards in or swift connections, swift retribution, interestingly enough, I'm getting as a word, swift receipts, like all the things of like getting those the proofs of the pudding that this is actually all worth for something right at this moment in time. How can you let that go? How can you honor that slow does not mean not? How a pace that is gentler does not mean that is not occurring. That there are still, and it does not have it, like it's like they're like the timing of things right now, the pacing of things. Can you allow that to like let go? Is not it's not necessarily like under your control from how or what you have done within you. Like, and that would be so cool. Like, I'm like trying to think of this because I'm like, how many times do we wish that like timing is on our side? That timing from all the things that we've done, that we're like, okay, I'm ready, I'm open, let's do this. That like then all of a sudden timing kind of like comes into sync with us, and then like everything comes and shows forwards. But there's something of this of going like, just because the timing doesn't seem to be exactly in the same sync of the timing of these certain revelations or openings or requests that you have had, that can you still trust the process? Can you still trust where you are moving towards? Could could be literally into those rewards. I feel like literally like there's like a walk into like this room of just like riches and prizes and things like this. So it's like we're moving it. You're moving into that reward. The work that you've been doing will be rewarded. It's just, but you first like just take a moment to accept that you have received some rewards already. What have they been? Those gifts that have come to you in really practical and real ways. Back to this type of practicality in the magic. Way less woo. This is real shit. This is real life. There's an emphasis on that. And so this season upcoming, there is one of kind of course, temperance is such a well-known balance card, right? As we know. But there's something I'm also even getting of tempering the chocolate. Like, you know, when, and this is kind of neat. I think I watched on a baking show of like how you do that process. And I thought, I didn't realize how simple it was until a baker explained it. They're like, you put in the chocolate, you heat it up to a specific, temperature, which allows that chocolate to start to get like glossy and, like have that good snap after, right? But if it's a little, if it gets if it gets too high in temperature, then you add more chocolate, and then adding more chocolate allows the temperature to lessen. But then if the temperature lessens too much, then you have to actually add more heat. And so there's this kind of process that, of either like, putting the heat up to get to that ideal temperature, or if that temperature gets up too high, then to temper it by bringing in more chocolate, adding in more of the thing that you're alchemizing, right? And so there's something in that, which is very neat. This is the first time I've received like a tempering chocolate message from the temperance card, which is usually, just like cups and water and all of these things. But there's something of this process that are like, you're refining it. Don't you see? It's not about just like, oh, let me balance like my fire and my water. Let me balance my, like the emotional, like there's something about emotional integrity and emotional like intelligence even here of like going like, oh, it's because I'm like too hot and bothered and too frustrated and irritated. So I'm going to now temper that down. And then, oh, now I'm like too emotional this way and grieving and like, there's something about like working with the emotions that arise within you and knowing that you're like, there's like a secret, like a secret sauce or something like a secret temperature that is just going to be right for you to not just feel emotionally regulated or like or any of those kind of like buzzwords, but actually to just allow yourself to feel confident and capable in doing a more like a methodic process. This process of going, oh, right, I don't have to like ravage my whole being, go into this massive wild cleanse, and like there's this awareness of like the depths that sometimes you might go in your healing processes that is not even asked for anymore. They're like, just because something is a bit slower in showcasing itself in the physical world, it's like almost as if it's just because you're doing much subtler work. And if it's something that's occurring very subtly, like, there's going to be layers and layers and layers to move through of that subtle process in you until it reaches out in towards kind of like the tactical and practical things. So take note of what has practically occurred, literally occurred within the life, that practical magic moments, those gifts that did show up, and then to honor this maybe slower fruition time period that you may be in, not to then go back in and rake yourself through the coals, but to then go, okay, I can temper that process. I can still go and do my personal processes and my emotional depths and work, but to know that that is like that doesn't have to be the only effort. The effort is also in the practicality, in literally like adding of the more chocolate, literally like turning up or down the heat, you know, stirring the thing. There's going to be other activities that are required outside of that. Don't get lost in kind of like the depths. There's something about not wallowing in the depths, but just getting lost in the depths. And there's like but you're wanting to pull some of this deep work in towards reality. And so it's like, so really balance this process of like dipping the toes into the depths, but also keeping really one foot on solid, firm ground of like practicality of how is this affecting my day to day, like what are the actions, what are the doings, and even if those doings are taking out the garbage and cooking and cleaning, like, you know, literal driving to do errands, there's something about this marriage of linking the awareness of how these two things are connected and do not negate each other just because something has slowed down from on one side or the other. So be it that you feel like you're most in the dregs of the subtle, or waiting for them to come up most literal in the physical, to allow yourself some process. And they're like, yes, there is some light at the tunnel. There is some promise. There's some promise here, but they're like, there's such a focus on this internal that sometimes maybe those lights at the end of the tunnel may be missed. And so that's why it's like allowing yourself to, as deeply as you see within you in this processing, that to allow yourself to really expand that sight to around you, to circumstances, to practical, and then you will potentially be able to just trying to get kind of an analogy for this, because I know this is group reading of like you'll be able to see the path towards that, like through the tunnel, a little easier. You'll be able then to know that you're like each step, you'll be able to trust that the path that you are on and that you are walking is moving you towards that, no matter what. Some of you may also have some deep trust, faith, belief in God's either or, singular or plural, that feel like that you kind of call upon a lot to assist you, and to almost just like take a moment and to allow that. This is interesting, to allow almost like that connection to the divine, or the connection to all that you sense is greater, like, you know, greater or all knowing or all those things. Allow it to assimilate in this process. Like let it in to this process. Let it in. Give it permission to exist in you, to support you in this, like, again, this like linking of the most surreal, subtle and sublime to the most like real, practical, and back to that practical magic, so you can really witness how this support comes into fruition in an actual life. Okay. And yes, there is spring. It will be a very promising season upcoming, and for sure, there's always that, like, sometimes then your mind will naturally go towards that, like go towards like the joys and the desires, but that is some time away, potentially, from when you are accessing this information. So there's something about like trusting, yes, in what may grow and what may showcase and blossom and flower within that time period, but it's not all for naught just because it's a slower paced season now. there will be quite some beautiful moments of awarenesses and connections that will make this process a lot more pleasing for you. And that is kind of like the ask, is like, how can you allow the assistance that you are so connected to support this to be a more pleasing experience, even though it may not be at the pace that you are hoping or wishing for at this moment in time. Okay. Any last guidance? I am pulling from another oracle deck called the Pure Magic Oracle by Engracia. Group 2. Oh. Group 2, any further assistance? This is a element, I believe, of air card, or yes, closing circle. Closing circle it shares. Pure intent, sacred doors, timing, experience. Yes, and back to that, like affirmation of just sometimes when we really want something to occur, that's like the will of timing, right? Like your own personal will that I'm making this happen. I'm pushing it to occur at this time, almost like carving the time to support your request. But there is something about that. Just because we're sharing the timing is not this moment. Just again, not all for naught. Don't fret. There's certain windows. There's certain windows that will be very supportive for you. And if you push and force this process, then right, like it's not that the windows are going to close. It's going to make it a more muddy process, like a more murky process that will kind of then like push you into some of the shadows of the past that you may have been moving through and feeling that they have closed and completed. There is, and it's very neat that one thing from this reflection that has been prompted of like looking at the gifts, looking at the literal things that occurred, allowing all the depths and kind of trying to temper and balance the process of going deep, as well as to acknowledge what is at surface level. There's an importance to that. There is something in that entire experience and process that is sharing that then you can refine, almost like to clarify and purify the intent that like for these needs, for these wishes, for this request. There's some asks about that. There's some type of something that is still, and I know this says closing circle, but it's not necessarily something that is closing, like a door is closing. It's like there's something that is complete. There's something that is being asked to be honored as complete, and almost like to then refine intention forwards, to refine things forwards. And hence why the slowing down time is going to allow you to refine that process back to becoming that master chocolatier in that tempering chocolate thing. So yes. Woo. Okay. So there is also there's some additional thing to just know that this, I keep getting, there are it's like you want further message, you want further information about this time, then go and access the information that is privy to you and you alone. So, and I know this is kind of weird because you're coming on a public forum, getting a general reading, but absolutely, if you're ever nudged or require assistance with that, of getting some clear channel and direction, consulting with your ancestors, you're welcome to connect with me online for a private session, as well as though give yourself like there's something about just like I'm getting even like this thing of going like, what is a sacred time each day that you can devote and dedicate towards this process of just like being like, even if it's just 5 minutes a day and just being like, I'm in connection to all that is moving through me, all that is of my spirit, of my soul, as well as allowing the ancestors to kind of like envelop me and hug me and embrace me in that process, just like a little incubus. Like it's not that you're there going in for further information, but just like letting yourself feel their support, even again, if it's just for like a boost of that support each day at a specific time of day that works for you, that you can add into your schedule. Or incorporate into your schedule, and that like there will be initially a seeking of further response in this process, but they're like, just let yourself incubate in, you know, almost in this connection, and then over time the further secrets will be revealed, further sacred information will be revealed. Okay. Whew. Thank you for connecting with me today. Much love and deep gratitude to all of the ancestors and caregivers that have sat with us for this process. And may what you have also received take precedent, and trust that you are welcome to take what you may from this general reading and leave the rest. Take care. I will now pause for a moment and then welcome in group 3. Hello. And welcoming group 3, who have chosen the prompt card of frequency shift. An interesting message of time is ripe, which is quite, I'm curious actually about this, because in some of the other groups, the time hasn't been as ripe. So let's see what can support group 3 in this endeavor. I'm being almost guided to ask, in this endeavor, in this, in these requirements. Ooh, interesting. Okay. In this endeavor, group 3, how can the ancestors and these tarot cards support some further information today for you, no matter what day you are stepping in for? Okay, so I can understand there is a shift, because a lot of times when I read tarot, specifically in year ahead tarots, now this is neat, when you actually like forecast a whole year up ahead, which is a seasonal service of mine around this time of year, there has been only a few occurrences that I've seen this type of perspective shift or like frequency shift occur, because you'll literally see like the reading all the way up to a point kind of like be really straightforward, and then all of a sudden everything turns around. So there's like a natural emphasis that there might be kind of, you know, how we share like the death, rebirth, a transformation, a transition. And so why I share this prior is because I'll now share the 3 cards that you're welcome to write down from the tarot deck. I'm using the traditional tarot for this reading. And I'm going to share that they all came in reversed. So there's clearly something shifting. And know that you're welcome to, in your own, you know, Googles and inquiries later, to look up both front-facing and reversed of the tarot, to know that there is something shifting in the messagings of these cards for you. Something is shifting. So not to take, there's just an ask to not to take like something at face value at this time, like to not like to take it superbly literal. So it's neat. I usually share this at the end of a reading, but I'm going to share it at the beginning. This is a general reading. Take what you may, but leave the rest. There's something asked and requested of that, to not take things so literal at this time, to be open to how they may shift in your own perspective, in your own understanding, in your own awareness of things. So I'm going to just show them upright as well as reverse, just so you can kind of take in the visual. So Ace of Swords is the first card. Four of Wands. and justice. It's very neat. I was recently reading what I'll share the link below in this book. I might have in my 78 Acts of Liberation by Lane Smith, which shares their kind of dissertation and understanding of tarot through the eyes of a decolonizing lens, as well as a lens that focuses on the work of Black and Indigenous peoples. And there was this is really neat, because I'm like, there was initially a chapter about justice, the tarot card and justice, and how almost there is an ask in that book, and I'm being really guided to like share this, so like bear with me, but there is an ask in that book to almost like review your concept of justice, because a lot of times, you know, in so systems that did not support justice was kind of like that aftermath of like that something of punishment, right? Like that justice occurred because the person who did something was punished. They were incarcerated. They went, you know what I mean? They were in some way reprimanded, their wings clipped, or freedoms limited in order to rectify what occurred. And that would be how we understood justice occurring. But then, of course, there is a massive, massive amount of information that is going, well, is that really the way to support justice? And much to be looked into with transformative justice. And new suggestions coming from many Black scholars and educators that support a different understanding of justice. Okay, and so there is a request to look into that. See, you know, and I could share tons of it, but it's like, look into what really pings in redefining what justice can be. And I keep on also getting the word retribution for some odd reason. So retribution, just, you know, what those two words prompt in you, and then to review and to look at it through a greater lens, be it a lens that feels more modern, more inclusive, more progressive, whatever words you wish for, but to see what the transformative justice movement has shifted in its own definition of justice. There is, and it's neat how I moved right in towards that third card right away of this requirement to kind of look at that. For this clearly is a prompt of something shifting mentally and in the mind. And I know clearly that is obviously with the swords do represent the mental stories and planes, but there is something of that, and it's not a perspective of how you see things. It's actually really like how you are perceiving things, how you are actually computing them in your beautiful mind. There something to take note of. There are like this process and this shift. This is not the first time it has occurred. There is something that I keep getting of like that this has occurred like multiple different times in your life, and you almost can pinpoint at certain moments of when these mental perceptions or like of how your mind actually computed information has shifted and altered. This is almost makes me feel like that whole idea of an open mind, right? Like not a closed mind process. Of that, there's been times when your mind, your consciousness, your awareness is opened. before. Like, so they're like, you're familiar with this process. This isn't also a new process for you, which is required to be shared here because sometimes when it's a new process, we do it with care and like do it very aware of what we're doing because it's a new process for us to learn. But since this isn't a new process and you've received perception and perspective shifts prior, there's almost like, though, an ask to look at how you can move through this one just with a little bit more grace, with a little bit more honoring of your nature, a bit more honoring of your body. This is a very interesting thing, like the physicality of your body, your carriage, your nature, your capacities, your physical capacity. There's something about kind of like not just doing this in the mind, but allowing it to be like, allowing your process, even though it's a mental one, to also be incorporated into your body. And and when I was like, it's because that reminds me of like so many times when I would have like deep perspective shifts, deep mental shifts, from our workings and unlearnings and all these things. And then that deep perspective shift, I'd be like, oh, I get it. I understand it. I comprehend it. But then like to actually enact it in my body and in the rhythms of my actions and in the rhythms of my movements forwards and, all of that stuff was a little awkward. It took a bit more time for my body to catch up to that swiftness of change of like mental process. And so there's something in this that is kind of going, if you're feeling also a little stagnant or like I've already got the shift. I almost get that, like there's this feeling of like, what do you mean there's a new shift coming up? Like I already got it. I've already done this. But it's like, where is your body and acclimating towards this shift? And to know that like this, why it feels a little bit, there's like a stagnancy in the shift that might not have been felt before or experienced before, like that there's almost a bit more stubbornness in what perspectives or change of mind has occurred that will that just still has some catching up to do. There's some catching up to do. But there is also a deep like moment to honor that even though that it feels like some of these things that I'm bringing up might feel a little bit awkward and like plodding and stagnancy and all these things, just to be aware though that you are in control of this process. But it's like acknowledging that that like this shift within you, even like to not feel like like you have to fully like surrender and be like, okay, give me a lobotomy or completely change my actions, tell me what to do, somebody else. You're like, just know that that's kind of what they're sharing. It's like, know as this integration occurs, all of the answers, like the answers are here, the answers are in this process. And not to feel that like you have to continuously relinquish the control in this process elsewhere. For yes, and similarly, and I'm kind of now comprehending with all these groups, seeing some of the similarities, that clearly there's some similar energies going on around this time. But similarly, there's this desire to get like the final, the final version, the final celebration, the final, yay, it all works out, right? Like the ending. You want to get to the ending right now. You want to get to like that, but there's some still uncertainty of even what that ending is. There's still in this process, still some uncertainty of what the outcome may be, could be, or even is that what you want? And so no wonder there's this kind of like, whew, gosh, I feel for you. I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it. So in this kind of topsy-turvy time, there's a being like an ask to also then review what you perceive to be the outcome or the wanted outcome, the wished outcome, and to see, like, could you expand upon that, or maybe even has that changed? Ooh, and I'm getting almost kind of like the feel of, like, when you do all this deep work, and maybe like before that deep work and changes and shifts and unlearnings and learnings and all these things that we do for our own development to support life and to support the world as it's changing too, right? That there's like, it's almost like, look at those things that you were hoping for to occur, or those outcomes that you wanted, and just maybe just take into account, is that actually what you still want? And to know that even those outcomes can shift. So it's not just like the actual shift of the mind, but there's also something being asked about, like even looking at towards those perceived or wished or desired outcomes, and then to go, like, is there some additional like processing to be done there in my mind? Like, what is limiting that outcome? Is that outcome kind of like doesn't have the same energy for me anymore? Is that why there's something is changed? Something is definitely changing in what you're actually hoping to occur. And within this process within you, that almost needs to catch up to what you have defined as what you want the outcome to be. So you might have like articulated, I want a house and this and this thing and that, right? But then you're like, wait a second, in this process, is that truly what I want out of it? Or is there a further desire? Is there a clear desire that has come forward that I kind of need to kind of chew on a bit more and process? And some of those things from those initial wishes and hopes might still be a part of it, right? But there's, again, this refining process, and letting some of the things from the far vision to what is clear as well within you at this time now, to just kind of drop away and make space within your consciousness, within your mind, to access further information. So that you can, there's some decisions. There's some decisions as well to be made to support you. And there's an ask also to weigh these decisions. Like, it just feels like to not kind of take that anything is true at this point of time in the visions, and to acknowledge that you might be weighing through, like, I'm almost getting like that when you sift, like when they're like looking for gold or something, and they're pull out the rocks and the rubble, and then they're shaking it with that little thing and waiting to see what shows up, right? Is it like that gold nugget, or is it just rocks that I toss? But there's something in this kind of process that you're in, of like this kind of shaking and shifting of things, shaking up and shifting of things. Can you shake up and shift them things? There's this energy that's just being asked to be accepted. Is that then you'll kind of like, I'm just getting, it's like you pick up something and you're like putting it in the scales, right? And you're just like weighing it and going, like, I evaluated this thing as the prized possession prior, but like now something actually has a bit more weight. That now something has actually a bit more strength and truth to me. Back to almost like justice, being very also truthful, like that something very true can come to light for you to really support forwards. Any additional? Yeah, step out of the comfort zone throughout every single process, like every single part of this process. There's just an ask to kind of just step a little out of the regular way of doing things. Like it's like taking assessment, like assessing, going like, is that truly what I wish for? How can I allow this kind of muddled process of this shift I acclimated into my body and into my actions, continue to refine, be open to refinement, be open to different things arising in the process. And for last, just check in if there is any further message. I'll be checking in with the Pure Magic Oracle by Andres Engracia and see. Okay. To support this process, we get an air card, number 14, with the word sylphs. And just not sure if that will like mess with YouTube. I don't think I see any challenges, but sylphs with the keywords of peace, agent of change, impact, importance. Oh, yes. There's like there's something also like acknowledge all these different, like the mental perspectives, like even if you need to list them down, like etch them down of actually these different shifts and changes in you and in your functioning processes that you have succeeded in, that are literally now like an aspect of you, that share your story to you. Take a moment to acknowledge them and to like really affirm and like I get this almost like caressing of like of them, like of just going like, I know they're there. I did that work. Good stuff. I did that work. So and to know that like if and almost then to remind yourself of going, if I could do that and that and that and those changes that I've done like prior, then clearly I can do change. I can do change. I am okay with change. Am I okay with change? I know I can transform. Transformation feels revelational at times and beautiful and brings up beautiful clarity and great peace of mind and all the good stuff. But I remember that, yes, sometimes within that change, it could feel arduous and like really deep and integral. And they're like, this isn't it, but and acknowledge though that like that weight, the weight or the heaviness of change or like that depth, it's here. This is a big shift. This is a big shift for you that you're experiencing now. Don't like just like make it feel like it doesn't carry any like much impact, that this is just kind of like the last bit. It's like, this is a big bit. This is a big bit. So allow some process. This is the second time I'm getting this message of asking your ancestors to cloak you but this is a different kind of cloak. You know, it's not a cloak of like comfort and incubation. This is like them going like, let's give you the weight and the strength of your lineages. Let you feel it on your shoulders, how that will shift then your carriage, how that will shift you, you know, standing or sitting, you know, how that literally will shift your demeanor, to know that you have support in this. You're incredibly supported in this, and it will allow further like dreams. They're almost like dreams and visions that have been woven into that ancestral tapestry to become clear to you, you know, those last little missing threads that then can really allow you to create a much like truer picture for you of actually what you have been striving towards, what you have been working towards. And this is an air card as I'm here breathing with it. So there's been quite a lot of energy of air, some like breath work. Pace yourself in this shift. Give yourself time for your care needs, for the needs to support the rhythms of your breath, the rhythms of your body amongst these shifts. There's something with that of just like, allow your breath, allow like the movements and energies sensed in your body to support the pace that you move through this work. For it is quite intricate. It can take you in many different places and corners and doubts and maybe almost like a winding. I keep getting like almost like moving around a whole bunch of different ways and like exploring, which can then get confusing. But just know that in that process, it will, like there will be something that will grow from it. There will be something that will burst forth from it that will bring much more clarity to light, much more understanding of how to step forwards in a very truthful and rightful path for you. Again, this just path for you. Yes. Wow. Okay. And then last little bit is just this request to surrender to this process of like revising what is that happily ever after moment for you. What is that big dream, that big goal? Something about revising but surrendering to that revision process, like a kind of like going, I don't have to like mastermind it as much. I just have to allow it to surface and reveal itself to me as I do these final legs of allowing what has shifted within my mind to catch up to all the functionings in my body. Okay. Whew, thank you. Deep gratitude to all the ancestors that stepped in to support this message today. If you're ever so guided to receive some additional private support, know that you can always book a confidential online session with me where we can step in with your ancestors as well as tarot if you choose or prefer to support your request for further clarity and assistance. Deep gratitude. I'm thanking you. I'm thanking your bodies for sitting and breathing. I'm thanking our ancestors for sharing and receiving. And may we continue to support ourselves as we traverse into these last almost, they're like monumental movements in this gentler time. How wild. Monumental movements in this gentler time. Deep gratitude. If this is your first connection and session, drink lots of water. You're welcome to jot down further notes. Know that you can always review messages. Sometimes different things ping when you re-listen, as well as you can potentially just remember that this is a group and public general reading. So take what you may from these messages and may you leave the rest. Take what serves and then allow what comes from your body, from your heart, from your connections with your ancestors to add to this message. So I hope this was an integrative experience for you where we could play together, both you, me, and our ancestors that love and honor and respect and root for us and all the things. Have a beautiful rest of your day and we'll connect hopefully soon. Take care. Ciao, ciao. Bye-bye.